Good afternoon from sunny and warm Southwest Florida. It's a balmy 87 degrees, starting to see some humidity, starting to feel a lot like summer. So one of the questions I get asked often is now the best time to consider selling my home in Southwest Florida? And so before I answer that, I kind of want to walk through a couple of the variables that drive our marketplace. As you probably know, our prices are up over 30% year over year. And so I think if you go back 2 years, it's probably closer to 60%. The median time to sell a home right now, 5 days. And so almost unheard of. Typical market, somewhere probably between 40 and 60 is more commonplace. Demand for our area is sky high. There's 1,000 people a day moving to Florida. We get our fair share of that 1,000 a day. Things that appeal to people up north still hold true today. It's sunny, it's warm, we've got beaches, there's no state income tax, and we've actually added a couple things over the last 2 years that seem to appeal to people as well. First is, that Florida was essentially open for the last 2 years for business. And so a lot of states were completely shut down. And so that has strong appeal. And the office environment may never be the same. So people may never go back to an office environment like they used to. So if you can work from home, which many people did over the last 2 years, and you can work from home where it's 87 degrees on your lanai right now, or 47 and drizzly in Chicago, most people are going to choose the warmer climate here. Inventory remains at near record lows. And so if you take a look at the graph here, inventory just has continued to drop down. But there is a small increase here. So the last January, February, March, it has ticked up each of the last 3 months. So that's something that we need to keep a close eye on. A couple other kind of things that kind of go along with that increase. So I talked to our photographer recently, and about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, there was a day where they shot 19 homes. And so almost unheard of for them to shoot 19 homes in a day, which means that people are starting to put their homes on the market. Additionally, I can honestly say the last 2 weeks, I've probably had more listing calls than I've had possibly ever in my career, with people thinking now is the time I should be putting my home on the market. And so with Easter coming up, or Easter just passing, people are thinking, hey, you know what, if I'm not going to use the home next year, or I didn't use it as much this year as I should, now is the time that I should put it on the market. One of the other factors driving the market too, interest rates. And so you've probably heard interest rates and inflation. Interest rates are moving up. Right now, if this is your primary residence, you're probably looking somewhere around 5%. A year ago, you're probably looking in the low 3s. And there's been a change in lending requirements for second homes. And so if it's a second home, you're probably looking north of 6% right now. So that's a big difference from what it has been recently. So is the interest rate hike going to help or hurt? And so the only helpful potential is that if it pushes some buyers into the, we should do this before this goes to 7, or before this goes to 7.5. And so that may push some people over to become buyers. 60 to 70% of our deals are cash down here, so that's not going to impact everybody, but it does impact some portion of the buyer pool. One of the things we don't talk a lot about down here are insurance costs, and insurance costs are going up. Irma was 4 years ago now, I believe, and we've had a ton of claims for primarily roof damage down here, and that's caused one of our big carriers, St. John's. I think they insured 160,000 homes in Florida, just went into receivership, and so the price of insurance is going up. Flood insurance has gone up drastically, so we haven't seen the full impact of that yet, but FEMA came out with Flood 2.0, I believe it's called, and redid the algorithm back in October. And give you an example, my house that I'm building, if I had built before October 1st, my flood insurance would be about $960 a year. Because I started building after October 1st, it is now $3,600 a year. So insurance is not going to go down anytime soon, if ever. So beware that insurance costs are going to continue to move upward. Interestingly, demand for vacation homes is starting to decline. And so I own a home up in the Georgia mountains that we use as a vacation rental. And our year over year rental is significantly down. And we feel that there's probably a couple factors for that. Um, this time last year, government was handing out stimulus checks. So people had money in their pocket and gas wasn't $5 a gallon. So driving someplace for a vacation was an inexpensive way to get out and enjoy a quick vacation. This year, no stimulus checks and gas is $5. So I think that's part of the equation. One of the other factors, concerns over flying are starting to subside. CDC just courts overturned the CDC mandate for masks on a plane. And so I think more and more people are going to feel comfortable flying, and that's going to take people to outside of the continental U.S. here. And the final factor for a decrease in vacation rental demand, last year people were homeschooling. So similar to the office environment, you could homeschool here, you could homeschool in New York, homeschool in Chicago. A lot of people vacationed and continued to homeschool their kids and made a nice week or two out of it. New construction. If you live here, you can see construction everywhere. And so, the easy question is, hey, can we build our way out of this? And so, unfortunately, no. Right now, most builders are quoting 18 to 24 months to build a home. And so that is not, it's going to be years before builders can keep up with demand. City of Cape Coral recently shut their permitting office down for 10 days trying to catch up on the backlog that they have. And so, demand is high and supply remains low. So builders have problems with not only supplies, but also finding contractors, subcontractors to do the work in a timely manner too. So Easter typically marks the end of the busy season here. And so snowbirds start to head back north, pack up and head out. It's noticeably slower on the roads, which is nice for this time of year. Buyers head back this time too. And so typically a little bit of a lull now, and then we'll see buyers working their way back into the market here in May and June. One of the things that I've heard from sellers is, hey, we're not going to use the house in next year. We're not using it as much as we should have, or you know what, we're getting older. We're not going to come back down next year. And so we are seeing quite a few people putting their homes up on the market for those reasons. So I think we will see an uptick in inventory here over the next couple months and see what happens. Buyers are kind of taking a wait and see approach. And so, they're back home. It's going to get warm up there eventually. And their thought is, what, let's take the summer off. Let's see what happens with the market. They think it's at the peak. They may be right. They may not be right. And if they hold off and prices continue to go up, I think we'll have a very, very busy fall again as people try to lock in a place before winter strikes. A couple other thoughts that in the last 2 years, I have not had one price reduction on one of my listings until about 2 weeks ago. And so had a number of showings in the first 2 weeks, weren't getting any offers, great location, great home. And so we dropped the price a little bit and bingo, we got an offer pretty quickly after that. And so we may start to see sellers that have been maybe a little too aggressive on the asking prices starting to drop prices slightly to coincide with what the market's telling them. So the answer to the question is now the best time to sell your home? And absolutely, I think it is. And so we have such a limited inventory on the market right now. We're starting to see some pressure on interest rates, traditionally entering the traditionally slower time of the year, and seeing the inventory starting to slightly tick up. I think now is a fantastic time if you're thinking about selling, to consider putting it on the market and getting it sold. Not sure if you want to sell. Everybody's got a make me move price, and so contact me. Let's talk, and I'll tell you how close your make me move price is to what the market is, and see if maybe we can bridge that gap and get your home sold here at a fantastic price, and get it sold pretty quickly too. Any questions? I'd love to work with you. Give me a call, 239-896-3437. Put together a no obligation analysis of what your home's worth in today's market, and wishing all of you a healthy, happy spring and summertime.